Yiratzon, Parashat Vayegash, 5780. The limud shebila refuat kol hacholim. Uvetucham Tanya bat Oda Margalit, Yosef Yair ben Aviva Chava, Harav Sivan ben Sima, betoch kol shar cholei Israel. I just want to also introduce Moriv Rabbi Yaakov Yona, who's on his way now to Shlichut, to America, just to give the shir together, Be'ezrat Hashem. We know in Sefer Breshit, there are many moments that are transformative, that are big, that have a lot of effect on the future. Creation of the world, the Akedah, the birth of Yitzchak, a lot of big stories. But there's a story that I believe might have been one of the most transformative, and it's in our Parsha. In our Parsha, we get to a moment in history where it almost seems like the negative is happening again. We know in Perek Lamed Zayin, Yehuda himself took Yosef and threw him into the pit. And in Perek Mem Gimel, he goes up to his father and he says to him, Abba, listen, I'm taking Binyamin with me and I'm going to bring him home. I don't want you to worry. And they're on their way back. And again, the negative story happens. The worst curse you could ever bless on anyone is that whatever happened bad is happening again. The brother was lost and the brother's going to be lost again. And Yehuda at this moment is the one and only that stands in front of Yosef and says, don't you dare. Just like my mother in the 60s stood in the streets and yelled out, 1, 2, 3, 4, open up the iron door. She stood up in front of the world and said, I will not let any of you hold my brothers in captivity. Same too, Yehuda stands a couple of years before my mother, and he says, I will not let you, who he sees as second in command, to hold Binyamin, but says the Sfat Emet in the year 1871, taught to me by Moriv Rabbi Ari Baruch, what was it about Yehuda that enabled him to do this? What was different about him? Why didn't Zvulun? Why didn't Yisachar? Why didn't Levi? Why weren't they the ones that stood up and said, Yosef, no more? It was their brother too. Why couldn't they stand up and say, stop? Only Yehuda was able to. Says the Sfat Emet in 1871, 3 words. Yehuda saw himself, Kol Ish Yisrael. He viewed himself as someone who was everyone. He looked at himself and he said, I know that this is not my pain. Because when it's my pain, then I go into the reality that I'm lost. It's my pain. I'll sit on the side, I'll cry over my brother. But says Yehuda, I am the name of the Jewish people. Every one of us know that letter J that was put in all the different clothings of people in Germany, in Poland, in Ukraine. All those J's stood for Yehuda. Everyone stood with the name of Yehuda. Everyone realized that Yehuda then saw the next day, he saw tomorrow. He saw Kol Ish Yisrael. He wasn't afraid because it wasn't his pain. Of course he felt it. But he understood that he was a messenger. He knew that he said to his father, An miyadi tevaksheno anochi arveno. He said to his father, I know that your son is something that's transforming me. I'm not Yehuda anymore. I'm a symbol. I'm a messenger. I'm not a person. I was sitting this last Shabbat at the table, my brother-in-law, and he raised a great question. Why do so many people in our generation struggle with tefillah? And he said that so many books are being written about insights and ideas and concepts and internalizing and meditation that make tefillah more personal. And he said something I think very transformative, that those books might be the reason for our struggle. Because tefillah is written in plural, and it's said in a minyan, and it's saying to a person, stop living without the image of us. Stop running from job to job and from home to home and from position to position, from game to game, and say that there is no game without me. That's one of the shirts that my son has. You can't spell game without me. That's not Yehuda. You can't enter the game if it's just me. You can't give any effect to the future if you're not willing to know that your name is the future name of all the Jewish people. Yehuda changes history and bring Binyamin home because he sees his name as the future and the destiny of the Jewish people. My bracha as we enter into one of the climax moments of Jewish history, that a brother can bring a brother home. It's when you stop asking the me questions. You stop asking what does it affect and what does it give and what do I gain? And you start asking the questions of what can I give? Then you become Yehuda. Then you become the Yehudim. And then you could change the story of the Jewish people and Bezrat Hashem of the whole world. Shabbat Shalom.